Before we get into today's episode, if you've ever had to heal in silence, fight through what nobody saw, or find your way while holding wounds you couldn't explain, my books were written for you. And even if you haven't lived it yourself, my writing is for anyone who wants to better understand the silent weight so many carry behind closed doors. I'm Soleil, author of If Only I Had a Home and The Wounds from a Healing Heart. And more books are coming soon. You can find my books on Barnes& Noble, Amazon, or through my link tree. No gossip, just talk. Now, let's get into this episode. Welcome back to No Gossip, Just Talk. I got a special guest with me today, Ayana. To tell you about Ayana, she's a beautiful, bright, and smart young lady with so much wisdom to share. And we're going to talk about what self love looks like. Now, first things first, self love isn't always pretty or polished. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's asking yourself, am I being kind to me today? So, Ayana, I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you think about self love right now, what does it actually look like for you?
To be honest, self love can be scary. The reason why I say that is because self love is a very big part. Because at the end of the day, you have to learn how to love yourself in order to love somebody else. And I feel like it's hard for some women to really love themselves because they feel like they haven't gotten that love from other people, or they don't really know how to love themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And part of that self love is being honest with yourself, knowing that loving you is the hardest decision, the hardest thing to do. It's so easy to give that love to someone else, but it's so hard to give it back to you because you expect for others to give you what you cannot give yourself.
Right. And it's like you have to know your worth.
Right. I totally agree. So, what's one thing that you can share with someone or that can help someone else feel grounded and proud of themselves?
Well, I could say every day when I wake up, I always thank God about letting me see another day. And also waking up every day with a smile on my face, have a positive attitude. Even when negativity tries to come my way or tries to hit me in different directions, it's like you have to continue on letting that be your motivation. Like, okay, like you got this, you can do this. Don't ever let yourself down. Don't ever let your guard down. You keep going and don't ever stop.
And that's very important. You have to learn how to encourage yourself.
Mhm. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to do it yourself.
Correct. Absolutely. Okay. That's good, Ayana. All right. So now let's talk about what gets in the way of that, how fear and depression show up and how we move through them. So, depression, it can keep you quiet. And I've had days I couldn't even explain what I was feeling. I just knew something was heavy. There were mornings I didn't want to get out of bed and I didn't even know why. And sometimes you just stop checking in with yourself.
Right.
And I've learned that our mental health and physical health, they're connected. And it's like when I started changing small habits, and it's the simple small ones too. When I started changing those small habits like sleeping better, eating cleaner, being mindful of who I spent time with, I noticed my thoughts were starting to become more clear. And I also realized that some of the weight that I was carrying wasn't even mine. It was stress, other people's problems.
Right.
And when your environment is negative, your spirit gets tired. But when you're surrounded by people who pour into you, it's like your soul can breathe.
Right.
So, what is something you want to share with other people that you're comfortable sharing?
Well, depression. Depression can hit very hard. Now, I'm gonna start off with myself. Now, I have had depression a few times. And it was when my aunt had passed away. I started feeling a little difference in myself. I started dragging. I ain't really want to move around. I was just laying in the bed. I just didn't have no get up and go about myself until I had to tell myself, okay, get up. Come on, you gotta get up. Your aunt wouldn't want this. Nobody else wouldn't want this. Come on, you gotta tell yourself to get up. It's okay. Keep moving and keep pushing. So when I kept having that mindset in my head, it made me want to push better for myself. It made that fear go away because when I had fear, it was scary
Hmm.
because fear and depression, it can kill you.
Yeah,
It
I
can.
totally agree. Yes, and I've had my share of depression as well. Mine's hit a little differently. I couldn't eat. I couldn't even hold food down, and I lost a lot of weight. And I'm like, I'm already small, little nose. I don't need to lose any more weight. And I got into those moods to where I couldn't get up. I have no energy to do anything. And it's a hard fight when you're going through it. But the most important thing is when you are going through it, that's when you need that support system. And I have been in those depressed stages to where I isolated myself. And isolation is not always it's not always good. That's when it's important to be around people that love you and mindful of the people that you're around.
Energy is very, very, very important, especially when you're around certain people. Negative energy can really affect you. If you such a very upgoing, positive person and uplifting person, and all that negativity, it can affect you so bad. It really can change the whole person. It can change your personality. It can change how you look and everything.
Yeah.
Your energy is who you are.
Yep. It's like it consumes you, it becomes you.
Right.
And it's like you start marking yourself with this type of signature where someone looks at you, they can see it.
Right.
Especially if they've been there before, they can recognize it. Like,
Right.
yeah, this person is wearing the spirit of depression. I recognize it. I've been through it. I see it.
Right.
I totally agree with that. All right, let's shift into what helps the mind and spirit calm down. Simple things really do help. Simple things like a walk. Maybe if you have like a little playlist that you like to listen to. Prayer. I don't want to single that out. Prayer helps. Journaling, even dancing. I know sometimes when I'm in the house, I have a full blown concert, but it's relaxing.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And then on top of that, you by yourself, so can't nobody tell you to shut up. So that's the good part
exactly.
about it.
Or maybe like something simple as just sitting in silence. I know some people like silence, and let's not forget about therapy.
Yeah.
And when it comes to therapy, I feel like it's a resource. It's asking for help,
Mhm.
because it just means that you're ready to grow.
Right.
And sometimes you got to ask yourself what helps you reset. What helps us reset?
Right.
Even if we built a 10-minute me time, and it could be anything's associated with that me time, something that does not involve someone else, but it's about you and your time with yourself. Because taking care of yourself isn't selfish. Like if you don't take care of yourself, you are no my opinion, you are in no position to help someone else if you are not together because it starts with the head first.
Right.
All right. So, my question to you: what's a reset that you could share with someone, even if it's something that we wouldn't expect?
You're gonna laugh. Sometimes it bring me peace. Food.
I
Food.
will say, me too. Me
Food.
too.
Food brings me peace because it doesn't talk back. And working out, going outside, and just having a peace of mind and stuff. Sometimes going outside and getting some fresh air, clear your mind. Sometimes that
Yes.
works, but majority of the time, for me, it's food.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's where you find your peace. I can't talk because food makes me happy. You give me a plate of food, I'm over here smiling. I'm happy.
Okay,
It's like
I'm
I
over
don't
here.
won the lottery.
Right, I'm dancing in my seat.
That is hilarious. Yes, I love it. So when we give ourselves permission to reset, something opens up inside of us.
Mhm.
And that something leads to freedom.
Right.
Now let's talk about freedom. Freedom is when you stop living yesterday's story. It's when you can finally say, I forgive me. And one thing that I learned, freedom is peace. It's when you realize if it costs your peace, it's too expensive. My question to you regarding that, what would you like to share amongst others of what freedom feels like to you? Freedom is basically where you can do anything that you want to
do without anybody telling you how to do it, what to do, or anything. You have your own mindset about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. Freedom should be where you're not controlled. I'm not saying not to listen to anyone that's telling you right from wrong.
It's good to listen to people whether they got something good to say or bad to say, but you don't always have to take heed about what they say. You have to be careful about where you get your advice from.
Right, because everybody is not good at giving advice, and sometimes, even though it could be right advice, it might not be the right advice at that time.
Right.
That's my opinion, but
especially the path that you try to go on.
Yeah. Yep. I totally agree. So when it comes to freedom, I feel like it's good to ask yourself, am I replaying old things? Am I trying to rescue people who don't want to be saved? Am I shrinking just to be liked? Because sometimes we can make ourselves feel so small just to fit in because we don't want to feel isolated or singled out. Right.
And I'm at the age where I'm finally realizing about freedom because I have had times where I have tried to be a people pleaser or I have tried to fit in a crowd that really wasn't my crowd. The inside of myself is telling me like, this is not you. This isn't where you're supposed to be. So it's just I have finally realized that freedom is so important and freedom is very personal.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very personal. And I've been in situations to where I people please. And even though you're pleasing others, you're still making yourself sad in the inside because you do have those whispers that tell you this is not you. You don't fit in. Can you change this? I totally understand that. And freedom is it's like a confidence and sometimes we can't lack it within ourselves. And sometimes it takes that right person to help us pull it out.
Sometimes it takes people a little longer for them to get their confidence up.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people have strong confidence and they come up to a person that has not very much confidence in themselves, they kind of push that person a little bit too hard about wanting them to come out their shell. And I feel like it takes them to a breaking point. They want to shut down even more, or they feel like they're forced to come out and they're not ready yet, or they're scared, or they don't know how to.
Yeah. And I get that. Sometimes you got to move at your own pace, but then that's that checking in. You have to ask yourself, why am I afraid to be pushed? Why am I afraid to come out? Why am I afraid of confidence? What is it about confidence that make me afraid? And sometimes it could be that comfort zone. Some people could be so comfortable being in whatever lane that they're in, but then when something challenges them, they're afraid because it's different. It looks different to them. And they don't know what it looks like on the other end. And they're afraid because it's unfamiliar. It's the unknown of that. But usually people who have the confidence and they pushing you is because they see what you can't see. But until you step out of that comfort zone and you allow yourself to be afraid, and you put yourself out there, you'll start seeing like, oh, why in the world did it take me this long to do this? Now I see what they're saying. But that has a lot to do with it as well. And then sometimes it's those inner self doubts as well. Sometimes when you doubt yourself or you think you can do it and your mind starts just saying a whole bunch of negative things that you can't. And sometimes when people try to plant seeds and tell you what you can't do, some people they feed on that as well, and it becomes their lifestyle and a part of them. So it's pretty much what you were saying, knowing your worth. You got to know who you are and understand that you don't need permission to be that. Some people feel like they need permission to have the confidence to do this, to do that.
Right.
The only permission that you need to have is from yourself. So now it's time for our takeaways. If you're on your own journey to self love, take your time. It's about being patient. You got to take care of your body. If you take care of your body will take care of you. Feed your mind peace, protect your spirit, and remember, you can love people without losing yourself. What about you, Ayana? What you want to add as takeaways?
Love yourself. Always put yourself first, no matter what. Know your worth. And always remember that When it comes down to depression, prayer do work. Sometimes just taking a deep breath and having a conversation with yourself sometimes helps too. And always remember that God has your back. God loves you too. And when you feel like you can't talk to nobody, you can always go to God. God always answers your prayers. He hears you every time. And when you feel like you can't go to a certain person, sometimes it's okay to be alone or listen to music. The world isn't always great. It's not always at its best. Sometimes the world, the energy can overcome you, but you can't let it become you. That was really good takeaways. That's why it's important for us to take care of ourselves mentally, spiritually, and physically. All right, that's it for today's episode. Yana, I want to thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your light. I appreciate you. Everyone. Absolutely, you're very welcome. And and I want to thank everyone else for listening to No Gossip Just Talk. Make sure you subscribe, share the show, and stick around for more episodes to come. And ciao for now.